13 investigates a new kind of protective shield that really could be a game changer for hospitals here in Indiana. A company on the ground floor of construction over at Lucas Oil Stadium and at the JW Marriott is behind it. Our Sandra Chapman shows us tonight how this new barrier could keep coronavirus contained during the most risky procedure.
On the front line of the coronavirus fight, a new solution to a risky procedure, intubation. That's the process where doctors insert a tube into the trachea to help patients breathe with the help of a ventilator. Now, this box of plexiglass and metal brings doctors closer than ever to the infectious disease with some added protection.
The biggest concern that they found was that, even though there's face shields, the PPE protection equipment is limited. And this provides another layer so that if the patient is coughing or any particles are coming out, that the shield, the Lexan on the top, will block all those particles.
The prototype for the protective box is evolving at Bright Sheet Metal in Pike Township after a doctor at the Community Health Network saw an article highlighting a similar one in Taiwan. Gary Aleto's company already had a footprint in Indiana, providing heating and air conditioning ductwork at Lucas Oil and area hospitals. Now, a new opportunity to put those skills to work.
Or try anything to see if it helps.
In less than a week, 12 shields shipped to community hospitals, 6 to St. Francis. And now Duke University researchers want to expand on the idea to create something likened to a portable isolation room.
We're thinking of expanding them to a longer box and making a negative air pressure compartment out of it so that we'll hook up a fan system, a HEPA fan system to the sides of them and exhaust them out of the building.
Aleto never imagined the idea would spread so fast, but with the highly contagious virus spreading just as quickly, he's offering flexibility that could keep more healthcare workers safe during the fight.
Well, it sure feels good to help out. I mean, there's limited amounts of things that each one of us can do, and when we find our own little area of expertise, it's nice to help the community and the healthcare professionals.
We've got an update for you tonight in our 13 Investigates report about coronavirus outbreaks at Indiana nursing homes. The state health commissioner confirmed today there are 3 facilities across Madison, Johnson, and Lawrence counties with at least 1 death from COVID-19. 50 extra testing kits are now heading to the largest outbreak area. That's Bethany Point Health Center in Anderson. Strike teams are now visiting more nursing homes across our state to check for potential cases. Today, our state saw the single largest increase in deaths since the coronavirus arrived here in Indiana. 34 Hoosiers died. Take a second and let that sink in. 34 families lost a loved one. The health commissioner says we haven't seen the peak in deaths yet. Tomorrow we'll get another report. The day after that, another report, until we hit that peak sometime between mid and late April. Now, there are some people who think COVID-19 is no worse than the flu, but I want you to see these numbers tonight. On average, Indiana has about 154 flu deaths every season. COVID-19 deaths surpassed that flu number in less than a month. That's why it is so important that we listen to these health experts. They've been telling us to continue social distancing, stay 6 feet away from others. If you have to go to a store or somewhere where that's difficult, wear a cloth mask. Most importantly, wash your hands frequently. Look, I know we are repeating these tips, but I want you to have the facts, not fear, because I want you to stay healthy. We all have a role to play to slow the spread. When we do that, we're saving more Hoosiers the heartbreak of losing a loved one to this invisible enemy. Now, this all comes as our country hit a somber milestone tonight, marking the highest number of new coronavirus deaths in a single day. More than 1,700 people died across the country. More than 12,000 people have now died from COVID-19. Last week, the White House warned between 100,000 and 240,000 Americans could die. But tonight, public health officials say that number could actually be much lower because more people are practicing social distancing. Now, when the White House originally announced those numbers, researchers expected only about half of Americans would follow those guidelines, but the country's top doctor says around 90% of us are doing exactly what we're supposed to. Well, that pandemic is shedding light tonight on a serious problem in our country, health disparity. The U.S. Surgeon General says African Americans are at a higher risk of catching COVID-19 and dying from it. And it's not just the coronavirus itself that's to blame.
It's not that they're getting infected more often, it's that when they do get infected, their underlying medical conditions, the diabetes, the hypertension, the obesity, the asthma, those are the kind of things that wind them up in the ICU and ultimately give them a higher death rate.
The White House says it's now working to address issues like lack of health care access, but Dr. Anthony Fauci said today the problem of health disparity is one that will outlive this current pandemic. And we've got a new warning tonight from Indiana State Police to protect your stimulus check from scammers. Those checks are expected to start landing in bank accounts this week. Now remember, you don't have to click through any links to get your money. If you don't have direct deposit set up, you don't need to set up an account. The check will be mailed to you, and you'll never need to verify that check amount to anyone. Well, police tonight are stressing gun safety because more families are spending lots of time at home. Tonight, our Steve Jefferson shares the video that officers are now using to reach gun owners and curious children.
You can see that video online. If you're a gun owner with children at home, it's well worth watching.
A gun! I've never seen a real gun before.
I dare you to touch it.
This is the cartoon police want every child to see and know what to do if dared to touch a gun. Police Union President Rick Snyder introduces the cartoon, now available on YouTube.
So we just wanted to take the opportunity to put out that reminder to all of our neighbors, because our ultimate goal is to avoid any accidental tragedies.
And Snyder believes the timing of introducing kids to Eddie the Eagle during stay at home could easily prevent accidental shootings, knowing kids are just curious. While police support gun ownership, they stress it comes with a lot of responsibility.
And then they're left unattended somewhere, and then it's the child that finds that, curiosity takes over, and then the tragic outcome occurs.
Eddie the Eagle and his cartoon friends help teach kids what to do if they find a gun. It's a lesson police say some adults need too.
Stop! Don't touch. Run away. Tell a grown now stop. Don't touch. Run away. Tell a grown now.
Even adults find them, and we have to stress to them, don't touch it.
If you're a gun owner without a gun lot, contact your local sheriff department to get one for free.
Such an important message, and we're going to put that link on that gun safety video tonight on WTHR.com/coronavirus.